Everything else is on delay today. Why not Litter Media Live, right? Snow has hampered our movement today, not only here in Chillicothe, but in outlying areas. At the Ramey Ranch this morning, it stood at 4.5 inches of snow.
That's a lot.
And I saw I was watching the weather pattern on our weather radar that we have at littermedia.com, and it was showing how the snow was going to be moving and at what times, and it was going to come to an end about 7 o'clock. And sure enough, it was pretty accurate. It was 2 inches of snow would fall between 2 and 4 o'clock, and then between 4 and 7 o'clock, 2 more inches were going to fall. Sure enough, that's what we had at our home here this morning. And I noticed a lot of parking lots coming through Huntington Township. The new Dollar General, they haven't set up snow removal apparently. The Family Dollar across the road, they don't have their snow removal plan already. So the gas station across the road also didn't have snow removal. So you're probably finding that in a lot of areas today, and that's part of why the schools delay.
When I was coming into work, it seemed like the streets were empty. There was no one on the roads in Chillicothe.
Yeah. Well, the first big snow of the year, and everyone sits back and thinks, you know what, I'll just stay home today.
But not us.
Not us.
We're here to deliver you beneficial news that you can use.
That plus the subscription we have with our online stuff does not allow us to do live connection. Otherwise, I would be live to you from the Ramey Ranch right now. And I would have stayed home. But no, we had things to do, so we came into town today. Weather is at the top of our minds this morning with the snow that has accumulated. We can tell you that the good thing is no more snow is on the way. So we have that going for us here today. Temperatures will hover around freezing throughout the day, down into the mid-20s by tonight, and mostly clouds tomorrow with a high about 35 degrees. And Thursday, clouds, overnight lows dipping into the teens toward the weekend. So you can't quite see that on the graph here that we're showing, but from what we're seeing, way over on that far side, it was showing about 15 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning. So we'll be dealing with that. Today is Giving Tuesday. We had Black Friday, we have Cyber Monday, and then today is when you decide non-profits that you want to contribute to. You have a favorite charity of yours that you would?
I don't know.
You're not.
You put me on the spot. I didn't know this existed. I'm learning this for the first time.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well, young lad, let me fill you in here today. This is where everyone spends their money on Black Friday,
right?
For giving and what you want to buy at low prices. Then on Cyber Monday is when you get the big discounts. I'm sure you know all about Cyber Monday.
Yes.
Because you are a millennial. And
I'm not.
Oh, that's right. You're the post-millennial, which is called what?
Gen Z.
Gen Z, that's
Zoomer.
right. The Zoomer. But let me fill you in on Giving Tuesday, because Gen Zers need to learn how to be giving. And that's where you pick a favorite nonprofit of yours and you decide to contribute to them in some way financially, or maybe help serve them.
Okay.
And so you've done all the shopping on Friday and your cyber shopping on Monday. Now it's time to give. And some of our favorites that we have worked with over the years, of course, include the Paper City Mentoring Project here in Chillicothe. We've got others like Big Brothers Big Sisters of South Central Ohio, the Ross County Humane Society, Ross County Historical Society. Now, if there's a Ross County Hysterical Society,
that's Hometown Motors.
That would be funny.
Their minds. Yeah,
exactly. And Southern Ohio FCA is another nonprofit that we work for. So if you have a nonprofit, today is the day to help give them. Just reach out and help them. I ran into the Salvation Army yesterday when I was going into the store down in Waverly. So put something in the red kettle, and you can do that as well. All right. One more note before we jump into the show and the crux of everything. It's my wife's birthday today, so
happy birthday, Miss.
Happy birthday to the lovely bride. We've been married for 42 years. That's a long time.
I've almost been married for 4 months.
And I hope that yours is just as well as ours.
Yes.
In 40-plus years. I probably won't be around to see that. All right, coming up in a moment, we'll get you caught up to date with what's happening with news, sports, and this state in history is for the birds, or should we say for the Bears. Details coming up in a bit. First, let's tell you about the Ross County Hysterical Society. They've lost their minds down at Hometown Motors Incorporated. They've slashed the prices on the Skags so low so they can get rid of all their inventory. Now, when this sale started, they had a wide selection, but that is starting to dwindle down. So it's your last opportunities right now to get a Skag at a low, low price, because once all this inventory is gone, so are the low prices with them. So don't let this opportunity pass you by. Give them a call at 740-773-8826. Check them out online at hometown-motors.com or stop in at 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe.
Pain was interfering with Tiffany's active lifestyle. Same-day hip replacement at the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute got her back to the community she calls home. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
The Pike County Career and Technology Center provides hands-on, skilled trades training with engaging curriculums and endless possibilities. From automotive technology, carpentry, business management, to culinary arts and interactive media. From electricity, welding, HVAC, engineering, and medical technology to pre-nursing, basic food service, and public safety. We're preparing our youth for America's workforce through today's technology. To learn more about Pike County CTC, visit pikectc.org. Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
Tecumseh. Fascinating. Captivating. Mesmerizing. Tecumseh.
Well, you've heard the forecast. You heard our message about Giving Tuesday. How about we take a look at where you can find news? You can always find it at littermedia.com. By the way, I went by the bridge yesterday. They've not started working on that as of yesterday. But you can go to littermedia.com. You can find some of the news stories that are making news for us today, but also all of our information in regards to our social media. Other ways to learn about the product that Litter Media provides is all in the upper right-hand corner at littermedia.com. Last night, the Waverly Marching Tigers marched into Bristol Village Community Center for a preview concert for their trip to Hawaii this weekend for the Pearl Harbor Memorial Parade on Sunday. Waverly Mayor Rich Henderson had proclamation from the Village Council, and of course, the band shared songs that they'll be performing in the Pacific when they get there. I caught up with Director of Bands Zach Ross yesterday to talk about their trip.
We are participating in the 2025 Pearl Harbor Memorial Parade and ceremonies, and also we'll have the chance to perform at the USS Missouri. In 24 hours from now, we'll be worried about making sure everyone's baggage is here and all the instruments are packed safely, and they're all going with us on the plane. So we're going to be playing Glenn Miller's theme song, which he wrote, Moonlight Serenade, as kind of a tribute to that. The popular music of World War II that's kind of become what we think of as the soundtrack of the big band era and the World War II era.
And of course, the Waverly Marching Band, you can read more about them and hear more about them in a feature that we'll have a little bit later on at littermedia.com and on our YouTube channel as well. Over 140 people are making this trip. 70 of them are band members. 82 members in the band, but 12 of them are unable to make that trip. The charter buses leave for the airport about 1:30 Wednesday morning.
Oh.
And they have to be at the airport at like 3 o'clock. And I think the first plane takes off about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours later. But they're taking 3 planes. And so among these planes, you have 2 leaving Columbus and going up to Chicago. A 3rd plane is going to Atlanta. Then I guess they're meeting out towards San Francisco and then going on to Hawaii. Can you imagine the logistics it takes to put all this together, let alone get all the instruments together?
Yeah.
Because if you show up and the instruments are in luggage where it's lost, if the instruments don't arrive, what are you going to do?
You know, I was about to say I would not want to be a chaperone on that trip, but then I remembered they're going to Hawaii.
Yes.
So it'll all be worth it.
Well, in fact, I told him, I said at the end of this, I said, it's a shame that you didn't need a media representative to go along.
Yeah.
But Allison Arnold is going to be taking care of that for us, and we appreciate her assistance on getting some of the video from last night's wonderful event they had at Bristol Village for us. And thank you for your help in that story.
Yes. Yesterday, we had a special edition. The Daughters of the American Revolution members Mary Miller and Terressa Reep were in studio to talk about the DAR's Wreaths Across America program. Wreaths will be laid on the graves of military members in Green Lawn Cemetery on Saturday, December 13th. Mary Miller shares how this all got started.
Wreaths Across America started out in Maine, and there was a gentleman that had a greenhouse that had made wreaths and would sell them. But one year, he had too many, and he didn't know what to do with them. And using his legislative people, he got permission to take them to Arlington, because when he was a child, he went to visit Arlington, and he remembered the white tombstones and thought the wreaths would just look wonderful on that. Initially, it was just that small group. And then by the 2000s, it had spread across to the United States. Last year, they placed about 3 million wreaths, and from sea to shining sea. And they look beautiful on there, and more people are getting on board with helping with it and supporting it, and we appreciate that. The placing of the wreaths will be on December the 13th at 12 o'clock in the Green Lawn Cemetery, and we could always use help placing the wreaths there.
Both Reep and Miller also spoke about longtime member Connie Meyer, who succumbed to injuries relating to an accident in late November. Meyer's hopes were to, by December of 2026, have 3,000 wreaths to mark the graves. You can catch the interview in its entirety on our YouTube channel and in the videos section of our Facebook page, as well as on-demand listening on Spotify.
The Ross County Historical Society is gearing up for their Christmas open house on December 13th. That is from noon until 5 p.m. We'll be rescheduling Andrew Hall, who was to be here this morning, but snow, weather, all that kind of stuff played into that. But again, that's December 13th from noon until 5 p.m. at the Ross County Heritage Center there on West 5th Street in Chillicothe. If you've never walked in to see, it's really amazing. A lot of the cool things they show you about what Christmas used to be like back in the day. So that and many other things too. So Andrew will be back with us once we get him rescheduled.
Yeah, yesterday we talked about this a little bit, but the City of Chillicothe's 2025 Holiday Decorating Contest is coming up real soon. Monday was the deadline to enter in one of the 3 categories, which are Griswold, Rockwell, or Techmas. And if you made the deadline, you need to submit a photo or video of your display by this Friday. Voting begins next Monday, with winners being announced on December 22nd, so just in time for Christmas.
Always like that, absolutely. Toys for Tots is now open up in Pickaway County at the Community Action. Toys are available for children in need up to age 17 between 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. now through Thursday, and from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. on East Ohio Street in Circleville. So that's where this is all taking place, the Pickaway County Community Action Building. There are some stipulations. You need to show proof of income, an Ohio ID, a children's ID as well. They will accept a birth certificate or an insurance card containing the child's birth date to participate in Toys for Tots.
The annual Cookie Walk and Holiday Concert put on by Chillicothe Choirs is coming up on December 11th, which is next Wednesday. Is that right?
Thursday.
Next Thursday.
A week from this Thursday.
Yes, you're right. It's an opportunity to buy some sweet treats, enjoy some beautiful holiday music, and support their singers. The cookie walk starts at 5:30 p.m., along with concerts at 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. in the Chillicothe High School and Middle School auditorium.
The cookie walk is always really popular, and I think part of the reason is because all bags are just $1. So they bag these cookies up, and you just go around and I'll buy a bag of cookies.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're enjoying it while you're listening to the concert. Yesterday, Ohio Christian University officially dedicated Pollard Hall to the honor of the life and legacy of Dr. Jim and Shirley Pollard. Dr. Pollard, former dean of students and psychology professor, and his wife Shirley, a former registrar, and their 3 daughters served OCU for over 83 years combined. I had the pleasure of getting to worship with Dr. Pollard. He came to Morgantown back around 2006, I think it was, at Morgantown Church, and Dr. Pollard was a trombone player, and we played our trombones together in church. It was a lot of fun because prior to his arrival, it was just me playing.
Right.
And suddenly you've got 2 slush pumps going. That made it interesting.
Everybody loves a good trombone.
Yeah, everybody does.
The Lyceum Luncheon Brown Bag Speaker Series presents a program on Chief Tarhee and the War with Tecumseh by Michael Johnson on Thursday, December 11th at noon in the Southeast Ohio History Center. Johnson, Marketing Director for the Fairfield County Heritage Association, Director of the Sherman House Museum, and associated with the Georgian Museum in Lancaster, will introduce his audience to the leader of the Wyandotte people who occupied parts of Southeast Ohio and the Hocking Valley at the time of European settlement.
In recognition of Older Drivers Safety Awareness Week, Mike Smith has gone to Florida. I didn't realize this was a week until we received this. December 1st through the 5th, the Ohio Department of Transportation, the Ohio Traffic Safety Office, and the Ohio Department of Aging are joining together to address the most common questions that families and older Ohioans ask about staying safe and confident on the road. There comes a point where you have to say, Mom or Dad, we need the keys. It just happens. It does. And it's unfortunate, but it's for their own good, and it's also for the good of everyone else on the roadway, too. And Mike just says, well, I'll just go to Florida. Last year, 19% of Ohio's population was age 65 and older, which includes Mike, and almost includes me. But this age group accounted for 24% of all traffic fatalities. According to crash data from ODOT, people over the age of 65 were more than twice as likely to be killed as younger occupants. So, you're that age and you've been driving a long time. I mean, I've been driving since I was 16, so since 1978, and there are times where you get a little overconfident. I hit a little patch of some slush on the roadway this morning on the way in, and I went a little NASCAR sideways, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And if you've ever been in an accident like that before, you steer your way out of it, obviously, but if you've had the other side of that happen where you end up in the ditch, that goes through your mind while you're feeling that first little yikes.
Yeah.
So be cautious on the roadways this morning. There are some slushy spots out there today.
Yeah. And as Ohioans gear up to give generously for Giving Tuesday, which is today,
yes,
and throughout the holiday season, the Ohio Department of Commerce, Division of Financial Institutions, is reminding everyone that generosity should be guided by caution. While this season of giving brings out the best in many, it also attracts scammers looking to take advantage of kind hearts and also people above the age of 65. Before donating, always take a moment to verify that the organization is legitimate so you can rest assured that your donation will make a real impact and not line a fraudster's pocket.
Precisely. And that's why we say choose a nonprofit that you know, as someone that you maybe someone works with that nonprofit and you have confidence in them. You've kind of done your own little vetting, as it were. Give to your local church. We had missionaries in the other day at our church, and we collected almost $500 just from, and we've got a small congregation, but people were giving because they knew what the mission was all about.
Right.
So if you know what the mission's all about, then you have more confidence in your giving. In our road report, we're simply going to say, be careful. The roadways are wet. gritty in some areas. And as we mentioned to you a moment ago, there's some slush buildup here and there. I did meet an ODOT snowplow on my way in on 772, so I'm sure by now he's probably been to Niption, turned around, and is heading back, and it's probably hit some of that slushy spots that I met on my way in. But I did notice at Fredneck's, their parking lot had not been touched either. So if you're out and about, and the reason I mentioned that is ODOT's probably going to drive down to Niption, stop in, have lunch, plow some of the driveway as a thank you, and then they take off again. So that's how it happens down in southern Ohio. Coming up, a look at sports for you. Kids are back in the pool. Details on that and more coming up in just a moment. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is your trusted comfort advisor. And with it's cold outside, you want it warm inside, right? You don't want it to be wet inside.
No.
It's not supposed to be wet. So if you've got those issues, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing can take care of those. If you're building a new home, if you're building a new business, you're looking for a contractor like Accurate, they can do a lot of commercial work for you as well. They've serviced this area for nearly 5 decades. Learn more by clicking on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, and it takes you right to AccurateHVAC.com.
Wherever you are there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Littermedia Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Littermedia Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary. Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
Time for sports, and our Haynes Total Healthcare High School Sports Scoreboard is where you can find a lot of the action that was played last night in girls basketball. Paint Valley nearly scored 100 points at Western last night. I will tell you that 100 points were scored, but that's because Paint Valley defeated Western 96-4.
Ouch.
And that is a correct score as well. Not a whole lot of love lost between those two townships right now. Chillicothe fell to Fairfield Union. Logan Elm took Piketon. McLean, Hillsborough, and Waverly all earned wins, all in girls basketball. On the boys' side, Teays Valley cruised past Watkins Memorial 81-57. And you can see all those basketball scores on our website at littermedia.com. Now, swimming, the Chillicothe boys and girls were both winners in a 5-team meet over at Fayette County YMCA last night, finishing ahead of Miami Trace, Unioto, Washington, and Adena on the boys' side. On the girls' side, it was a tight contest. Cavaliers nipping Unioto 336-335. Miami Trace was third, followed by Adena and Washington.
In the pro circuit, the Blue Jackets exercised the Devils 5-3 last night. The Blue Jackets are back home this Thursday with Detroit. And the Cleveland Cavaliers were also winners. They bounced the Pacers in Indiana last night, 135-119. The Cavs are back home tomorrow night with the Trailblazers.
And we learned about this yesterday when Terressa Reep was in. She said, "Oh, did you hear about the kid from Teays Valley that hit the half-court shot?" That is Sam Miller, a former McDonald's Intermedia player of the game from our broadcast a couple of years ago. And on the Cleveland Cavaliers TikTok, here he goes, $10,000 from mid-floor. Swish!
What a shot.
Now, he could hit threes, but his true money was made in the paint.
Yeah.
But, man, look what he did there in grabbing $10,000. So congratulations to Sam Miller, who now plays at Wittenberg, I guess. So I'm sure that money will come in handy.
Well, the top comment on this video on the Cavs TikTok was, "Give him a contract. We need him." So.
Well, like I told the ladies yesterday, I said, well, very easily he could have won the game for the Cavaliers had he been on the floor with that shot, because they needed a three and they came up short on the shot that was taken to tie the game. Teays Valley announced its 2025 Hall of Fame class yesterday. That includes the 2015 Division I State Softball Championship team. Longtime softball coach who coached that team, Brenna, and they always called her Coach G because it is Gisegi. But if you were to look at it and say, how do I pronounce that name? Thank you to Traffic Light Sports for helping me with that, because she was not at Teays Valley when I was there. Colton Carroll was a standout in football, but mostly on the wrestling mat. He went to Cleveland State for wrestling. And swimmer Kristen Lorraine Strauss-Bailey. Congratulations to these three individuals and one team going into the Teays Valley Hall of Fame. They'll be inducted during a dinner on December 13th, so a week from this coming Saturday night, and then recognized during halftime of the boys' basketball game against Whetstone that Saturday evening. So congratulations. All right, coming up, a look at this date in history, and we go back to
2006.
Way back to
I
2006.
was alive for this one.
How old were you then? 4?
Well, I would have been 6 years old at this
6
point.
years old at this point. All right. Details are coming up.
But first, we want to tell you about Litter Quality Propane. Nearly 100 years of serving propane users in southern and central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people.
At Tomlinson Insurance, we've been protecting families, farms, and businesses since 1853. From auto, home, farm, life, or health, we tailor coverage that fits your world. With multiple carriers to meet your insurance needs. Real people, real service, local agents who can answer the phone and care when it matters most. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call or stop by today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Whenever I first applied for the ArchWiz opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com.
Sorry?
You go.
I was going to introduce you.
Okay.
Time for this date in history. And that would be December 2nd, 2006, you say?
Yes. 4 students at the University of California, Berkeley climb into the treetops of an oak grove on their campus to protest the school's plans to demolish more than an acre of the forest to build a new athletic center, which turned into a 649-day sit-in.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. 21 months.
And that green that I drew on for
It's
the
going
trees
right through, yeah.
is right through there.
Yeah. By July of 2008, courts ruled in the university's favor, and campus police began arresting protesters, and the grove was cut down.
It's kind of funny. My mind says you should be able to see me through the trees, but what
That's
you
not
can
how
see,
that works.
It doesn't work that way.
Because the camera doesn't know you're behind there.
Right. That's kind of cool.
You're distracting from our history
I
lesson.
apologize. You see, that's the Berkeley bear that's up in the tree there.
Yes.
That was my way of thinking. So this stretched through 2008.
Yes, July of 2008.
I mean, 649 days. That's determination.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the same 4 students?
Well, the article I was reading said at the protest's peak, there were over a dozen students in the trees, and volunteers would bring them food and things.
Gotcha.
So I assume they switched out.
I'm only dedicated until I need to take a shower.
Yeah.
Or I need to, you know what? There's a game today. I'd like to go be at that game. Somebody take my place up here. I could see that.
I mean, they had to go to class, so they must have found enough people that they could coordinate schedules that when someone didn't have a class, they could be in the trees and relieve someone that had to go to class. Or else they'd just be flunking. They wouldn't come back the next year.
I'd be more concerned about those wanting to relieve themselves.
Yeah.
While in the tree.
Yeah.
And I don't mean from staying up in there.
Right.
I mean, we already have birds doing it. All right. I've gone down sophomoric humor pathway. Tomorrow, we're back at it again with another edition of Litter Media Live, and trying to remember if we have a guest for tomorrow. We've had cancellations due to the weather today. We had 2 special editions that we had to work on rescheduling.
We had a Monday that rescheduled to tomorrow.
Ah, that's right. Yes. So we do. Sean Callner is going to be here from Tabernacle Baptist Church, and that'll be a 9:30 edition of Litter Media Live, and talking about their Starry Night Marketplace, I think is it's something with a star.
Okay.
And it's the marketplace.
Can they use Starry Night? Is that copyrighted?
From Don McLean.
Well, I was thinking Van Gogh.
Ah, gotcha. You went highbrow. I went pop music.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's where Don McLean starts singing, and he says, "Starry, Starry Night."
I don't know.
You don't know what song that is? But, it seems that I've got the graphic here. Ah, here it is. His Star, a guided journey through the marketplace.
Okay.
At Tabernacle Baptist
That makes
Church.
more sense.
It does make more sense. And we don't have to worry about the song or the painting now. All right, that's it for the program today. Enjoy the rest of your snow day. If you are going out and playing in the snow, be careful, but have fun.
And have a hot chocolate for me.
You bet. Thanks for watching this edition of Litter Media Live.